Hello there, welcome to another Sharalee Uncut. Today, my goal is to do something that's a little lighter and quicker. It is Friday as I'm filming this, and I don't have anything super special to do today, but I do need to be able to edit this video quickly and get it up. So we're gonna use a few less products maybe and try and get this done a little quicker. So I just put on the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer, and the color I will have to link down below because without putting on my glasses, I can't see it. And you know, we're trying to save a little bit of time. I think my husband and I will go to what we like to affectionately call dinner, late lunch, early dinner. And I think I need a little more of the concealer there. So as I was preparing for today, I thought, well, I could do kind of one of those really super quick 5-minute makeup looks, but those always just make me nervous. And I kind of wanted to just relax, do my makeup with you all, but also do something that doesn't take super long. So while that sits, I'm gonna go in with the e.l.f. Squeeze Me Lip Balm in Strawberry. I purchased this when my best friend was out, and her daughter thought this was a pretty close dupe to the Laneige. And I think she is right in the Laneige lip balm. Laneige has a balm that comes in a squeeze tube like this. This isn't as thick as the lip sleeping mask, but this is a very nice texture. It's a little, there we go. The scent Strawberry, it's really nice. Oh, that feels really, really good on my lips. They were getting so dry. All right, let's go back. I'm gonna add a little bit of the NARS Smudge Proof Eye Base. And I did do the concealer today because I am going to do a one shadow eye look. It has been a long time since I've done one of those on my channel and even in real life. I always seem to have to pull in one or two other shadows. And I was watching a reel on Instagram the other day that inspired me to go through my shadows and try and find one that I thought might work for a one shadow look. I didn't have the particular eyeshadow color that she used in her reel, but we'll see what we land on for today. So because of that, I want to make sure that most of my veins are disguised, and then we'll set it with a little bit of powder, and then we'll go in with the eyeshadow. So while that sets, I do have all my skincare on. I'm actually testing out some new skincare. So look for an updated kind of skincare favorites coming soon. But have moisturizer, I have my usual sunscreen on today, but I'm going to use a skin tint today. I think I tried this one time, maybe a little over a week ago or so, and I can't remember exactly how it performed, but this is the Calorie Free Dreaming. And I have the shade 4, which I think might be a little light, but we'll deal with it. It says it's a Skin Wellness Diffusing Tint, and it says it's supposed to have sheer blur coverage, which I like that idea. And it's buildable and diffusing, featherweight, natural skin finish, you know, all of these good things. And this was one that I watched, I think it was Nikki LaRose, and she had tested all these skin tints and thought this one was the best one at Sephora. So we're gonna give it a shot. Let me just check out this color. Actually, I think the color's gonna be okay. I thought it might be too light. I've also been testing out the new one from Sigma, and I have to say that is quite impressive as well. It's a little light for me, but we're gonna give this one a try here. Now, skin tints, what is always perplexing to me, I'm gonna use my Dalton brush. This is the Sculpt brush, gonna use the small one. What is interesting to me and confusing a little bit is usually skin tints do not have any SPF in them, yet they usually have a lot of good skincare ingredients that you're supposed to put really close to your skin. So I'm also working on another video of how I like to wear skin tints, because I think there are 3 different ways you can wear them. So obviously you can wear it like foundation. That's what I'm doing today. But I really think that if you want to get most of the benefits from the skin tint, we might need to do another application method. So I'm going to put this on. Okay, so as that went on, you could see it was a little light, and I think I got a little too much. So I'm just going to continue spreading that out. And I know skin tints usually are quite radiant, glowy, I guess is another way to put it. So we'll just see how this works and settles into the skin, because I have another glowy product that we can use to kind of deepen this a little bit. I was thinking of possibly mixing it into the skin tint, but I thought, well, let's give this a try all on its own. And here's Gracie, the scratcher. Gracie, Gracie, Gracie. She should be about ready to settle down for a little nap, little snooze, but we'll see. Gracie, Gracie, you trying to say hi in your own way without barking? She's so funny. She gets her haircut on Monday. Gracie, oh my goodness. What are you doing? So Gracie, Gracie, Gracie. And her mom gets her haircut next week. So welcome to Crazy Hair Day for Sharalee. I know kids have that at school usually. I was thinking of that today as I was trying to tame my hair. It all of a sudden is very long, and last haircut, my stylist and I had discussed, you know, we were trying to preserve as much of the blonde as possible, especially around kind of the undercut area, until we got to the point where we could change the haircut and not have to fully re-dye all the hair. Anyway, long story short, here's where we are. And this week I will be filming an updated salon visit. Gracie, 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 that's enough. She has a toy in here. We'll see if we can distract her. So yes, updated salon visit video is coming. So stay tuned for that. And there are some color updates coming. I'll just leave it there. My stylist and I have a plan, but you know, we always hold those plans loosely till I sit in the chair and we decide for sure what's happening. Okay, let's go back to the eyes. We're going to do our one shadow look. And for this today, I've pulled out a bunch of options, and I am not sure. I think I'm going to go to the Natasha Denona. This is her bronze palette. And I believe, yeah, this shade Palladium. Do you see that nice bronzy sheen? So it's this shadow right here. So we're going to do this in a one shadow look method. And what I mean by that is a one shadow look. Obviously you can do this with a matte shadow, but you don't quite get the change across the lid like you do with a shadow that has a little bit of a sheen or shimmer. And you apply it with a brush, with your finger, and by doing that you get a different look, so it makes it look like you're wearing more than one shade. Let me show you. Let's go in with that first on my finger. And oops, I totally forgot to set the upper part of my lid, so we'll go back and do that in a moment. So let's just add this on my lid here with my finger, and then we will add a little powder, setting powder to the eyes, and then go back and blend this through the crease, which normally I don't like a shimmery color through the crease. So usually in this method, you can get away with it. All right, I am just gonna use my setting powder today. I'm not gonna bring in the Nikia Joy setting powder that I usually do. I'm just gonna go into the Honest Beauty blurring powder and use a little bit of that on my powder puff here. Okay, and this will just help us blend that shade up towards the brow. Without doing this, you might get a little extra tackiness, and it might make your shadow a little more difficult to blend out. Okay, now I'm going to go in with a blending brush. Let's go in with this one, rougher number 1. And I'm going to go in, same shade. I guess you don't need to see it again, do you? Unless you want proof that that's what we're using. All right, so we're just going to blend this through the crease. Now, the first time I ever did this kind of video on my channel, it was a number of years ago, and I used the famous MAC eyeshadow called Woodwinked, and that is a beautiful bronzy gold shadow that when the light hits it, it kind of takes on a little bit of like a coppery tone. It's just such a unique shade. And so I thought, all right, let's see if we can do something similar, but with a different color. And I think this is kind of working. It's staying, I wanted to do something kind of neutral, and it's so interesting. This is coming across. I'm seeing a lot of that brown through the shade, through the crease. And then on the lid, we will amp up that shine a little bit more. But it's interesting how little of that shine you see through the crease when you use a blending brush like this. So just so you know, if you see a shimmery shadow in your palette and you don't like shimmery shadows, maybe try using a fluffy brush to blend it onto your eyes, and you might be surprised. You might not have quite as much shine and shimmer as you thought. All right, I'm gonna go back and use just a little setting spray. I was hoping not to have to do this, but I think I need to. So I'm gonna use the Sigma E60 brush and load up that brush on both sides with that shadow, and then spritz it with the Maybelline. This is, what is it? The Lasting Fix setting spray. And then just go right on the lid. Yep, that's what we needed. So still just one eyeshadow, but depending on how you apply it, you can make it look like you have multiple colors, multiple shadows, and even finishes on your lid. All right, so we're gonna let that just sit and dry quickly. And then we're gonna go in with a little bit of eyeliner. Now, the person that I saw on Instagram, sorry, I'm trying to look down so I don't get too much of that up. The person I saw on Instagram who was doing this, she used the MAC pencil in either Costa Riche or Teddy. These are really nice and blendable, but you have to set them in place with shadow for them to stay all day. So I'm gonna go to the Dalton All I Need eyeliner in the shade Bronze. This was in my new little pink box. If you haven't picked that up, I will link it down below. It's a great deal and a limited time that it's available. But these eyeliners, they're self-sharpening, and see this color, it's the perfect kind of softened brown. It does have a little bit of a sheen in it, but on the eyes, you really don't see that come through. So it allows you to get the definition that you want in your eye without it being too harsh. And I think I'm going to take this just really lightly across the lash line, just for a little more depth there. And then I'll take a little bit of this on the lower lash line as a base for, and then we'll put a little bit of this eyeshadow down here as well. But I like to have a little bit of something for that eyeshadow to stick to. You can also put eyeshadow primer down here, but I am just sometimes too lazy to pull that out again and wait for it to dry and then go in with my eyeshadow. Okay, where is my brush? I really need my special E15, or let's see, what else do we have here? I'll just do my Morphe M432. And I'm gonna go back in with that same eyeshadow, Palladium, and I'm just going to place this. Now, if you don't wear contacts and you don't have issues with little particles getting in your eye, you can go in with a blending brush down here, but I can't. So if you are like me and you really need to be careful about getting things in your eye, go in with a brush like this, and it will just help keep that shadow right where it's supposed to be. Now here in the outer corner, I am gonna bring in my BK Beauty 204 brush, and let's smudge that liner just a hint. And then I'll add a little bit of that eyeshadow just right there in the crease. If you have hooded eyes like I do, especially on this eye, you'll want to make sure that you pack enough of that eyeshadow in the corner so you don't have any gaps or any spaces there. All right, now back with our brush, blend through now that that lid shade has set in place. Ooh, that's pretty. Okay, we're going a little more glamorous, but with a little effort, right? I know sometimes when I say, oh, this is an everyday look or a later makeup look, some of you just really balk at that idea, give me a hard time. But I mean, one eyeshadow, that's pretty easy, right? I mean, it obviously looks like I put in a lot more effort than I did. I guess that's what I go for in an everyday makeup look. It doesn't mean that I don't wear makeup or that it's invisible makeup or supernatural makeup, but it just looks like I put myself together, and yet it didn't take me as long to get ready as it normally does. So, all right, let's just finish up this other eye here. All right. Now I'm curious, are any of you finally getting a nice cool down with your temperature? I know I've asked before when we've been having some really hot days, and so many of you have been having hot summers, but I know from my friends in Colorado, they're finally getting a little bit of a cool down, and I'm so jealous. Our cool down is when it stays just below 100. So we unfortunately, over the next 2 weeks, have a lot of over 100-degree days coming. I'm so not looking forward to that. So the good news, we've had a couple of mornings that are really nice and cool. I mean, you know, in the upper 60s or so. So that has made it nice, but little Miss Gracie gets me up early enough to get her out. So we're not too hot by the time we get back from her walk. Okay. All right, I think we're pretty much done except for mascara. So I think that's pretty easy. Hopefully you agree. All right, let's clean up under the eyes. And I'm just gonna use my traditional almond oil and a little Q-tip. And I'm not sure where, oh, there's my puppy. She is fast asleep under the desk that's in the corner. If you've seen my closet makeover video, you will know exactly where I am pointing to and indicating. She's so funny. She kind of goes through this spurt where she has a lot of energy and then she finally takes her nap. So I guess kind of like a kid fighting nap time, right? All right. So now that the skin tint has settled in, honestly, I feel like I can get a little more coverage with most of my tinted sunscreens. So, you know, if I'm gonna wear a sunscreen anyway, yeah, I don't know that the skin tint is gonna do anything extra for me. All right, we're gonna fix it with a little concealer and some bronzer. Speaking of concealer, another product from my little pink box is the Doll 10 Serum Concealer with Reishi Mushroom. And this is gonna look a little dark for the color of my skin at the moment, but this is the shade medium. And I am just loving this. And I know you're probably gonna get tired of seeing this in videos, going in with the Doll 10 concealer brush. But really, truly, I want to show you products that I am using, and I really love these products that were in my box. and I want to show them to you while you can still get them at a discount. I mean, really, this is what is so amazing. And this concealer, like, it works with a skin tint, a sheer tint on the skin. It works with full coverage foundation. Some concealers look too heavy if they're full coverage under the eyes, and it can look a little strange if you don't have full coverage foundation. This one I'm just so impressed with. Okay, now I'm gonna go in with a different color. I think I'm gonna use the light medium and just do a little bit of concealing on the face. I'm not gonna do anything too crazy here because we're just gonna leave this a little bit lighter, but yeah, I'm not a fan of how the skin is looking. I always withhold final judgment until we get powder on, but yeah, I'm just kind of not blown away by any of the blurring properties of that skin tint, so we'll see. I feel like actually so far what I'm seeing now, the Sigma one, I like much better. The Sigma one doesn't seem to be as radiant, and it actually does last quite well. Okay. All right. Well, let's go in now with another new product from Caliray. It's new to me. I think it was new this year, but it is the Sun Drip Skin Boosting Peptide Serum Bronzer. So very similar to, I have my Dalton one out, my serum bronzer, just in case. But this is supposed to also provide some skin blurring. It's lightweight, luminous, sun-kissed glow, hydrates skin. It's supposed to have Matrixyl 3000, which is supposed to help blur fine lines, firm, and support the skin barrier. Let's see if it does. So I have, does this come in shades? I don't think so, just Sun Drip. So let's use this. I'm gonna put a little bit of it out on my palette here. Ooh, and I have white pants on right now. I probably should cover up my pants because I can just envision getting a drop of bronzer right on my white pants. Okay, let's see here. I'll go in with the other end of my sculpting brush. And ooh, okay, this is quite liquidy. Really reminds me of the Mario, Makeup by Mario liquid bronzer. It feels very cooling on the skin. Well, let's just see. We need a lot of blurring here. Let's see what this does. And I'm gonna kind of bring it down a little bit more than just, you know, my typical areas of bronzing, because I feel like I need to darken the skin just a little bit to match my neck. I do have my NYX setting powder, which is probably what I'll use, which does add a little hint of color. So, okay, that's kind of nice. Ooh, and it feels nice and cool. It's nice and warm in this room right now, so this is feeling very nice. And we're gonna put a little bit of this on the sides of the nose. I do think if you're gonna try this, go from the back of your hand, because I think it is so liquidy that if you put it directly on your skin and blend it out, you might lift whatever coverage you have underneath. Of course, I don't have a lot on right now to lift, but yeah, it is blending really nicely into the skin though. So I think this actually might be a really good product overall. Now I am going to blend a little bit of what's left on my brush down here, just to give me a little more color, deepen that skin tint a little bit. Now this is something I could have mixed in with the skin tint, but I always like to see how things perform on their own first. So, okay, we're good. Now, one more liquidy-ish product, the L'Oreal, what is this? Lumi La Liquid Blush. And I forget what shade I have. Again, I'll link it down below, but this is a beautiful shimmery coral color. It's so pretty. This one, I know I want to work from the back of my hands. I mean, look at that color. Another product I bought when my best friend was out here, and I think she promptly went home and planned on ordering it as well, using the rougher number 4 brush. And it is just so, so pretty. And when you do it from the back of your hand, you can really diffuse it. And I really, other than the Tarte Man-Eater blushes that come in a similar package like this, those I know I can dot directly on the face and blend out without issue. Other than that, I really think the safest bet is to go from the back of your hand. Okay, I got a little bit much there, but we are gonna powder, so. Wow, okay. Some of you are like, Shirley, it's time to step away from the blush. I know one of you was telling me you have that issue. Step away from the blush and the bronzer. I always think, oh, I might need just a little bit more. I might need just a little more. Okay, that's why we have powder, right? Okay, let's leave that. Ooh, and that has quite a lot of glow. So I think that will be our highlighter for today. All right, let's go to powder. And I am gonna use the NYX Mineral Matte powder, finishing powder. And I am to the very bottom of this. And actually just today, I purchased a new backup because I love this. And this is in the shade Light Medium. So one of my favorites. It does add a little bit of coverage though. So that's just FYI, but if you're using a skin tint, you might need it. I also pulled out my Laura Geller Baked and Brighten, or no, Balance and Brighten foundation. And honestly, this is my favorite way to use that Balance and Brighten is over the top of something else. And I like to use it just like the tops of the cheeks, maybe over the nose. And I have better success with that, with it using it that way than as my sole foundation. So I do have a full face of Laura Geller coming up. I received her, she has a brand new, it's basically like a CC cream and tinted sunscreen. It's SPF 50 and then some new bronzing sticks or serum bronzers. Everybody's got serum bronzers this year. So stay tuned. I will be showing those, but I thought I would minimize how many new products I use today. Okay, that's pretty good. I can still see texture, not loving the texture I'm seeing. Now, under the eyes, my favorite powder to set my under eyes has been the Dalton pink powder. I like how that works with the new concealer from Dalton, but I want to try the Charlotte Tilbury setting powder because this has been a long time favorite for setting the under eyes. So I just like to try all the different methods, and you can see I really have very minimal settling. It's usually just this big line right here. I'm just so impressed with this concealer. And let's see, I'm gonna go in with the N14 from BK Beauty, and we're gonna go in, this is shade number 2. Hopefully it's not too light. No, it's good. And this also does have a little bit of coverage, but it has almond oil in it, so it's a hydrating powder. So this used to be the only thing that would work for me setting my concealer, but I found a few new favorites this year, but I haven't used this with this concealer yet. Okay, I think we're good. Let's go to brows. Are we really all ready to brows? Woohoo! Okay, well, I'm not moving as fast as I should be, but here we go. All right, I've got my magnifying mirror here, and I think I'm going to have to actually, let's see. I actually have to hold it because it's a little too low. All right, using the Benefit Precisely My Brow pencil and still using the shade 3.5. I did order, I think it was 2.5, but I didn't love the tone of that one quite as much. So I've just continued using this one. And with my darker roots, I think it kind of blends. I have really enjoyed this pencil. This is one I've used in the past, and when I pulled it out of my stash a couple months ago, I just realized why I loved it so much. And I do also love the CoverGirl Nano Brow Pencil. I'm excited to go back to that one as well, but trying to finish this one up, you know, one at a time. Of course, I have already like 10 others open in my drawer. I received some brow pencils from, what is it, Billion Dollar Brows. I'd be curious if any of you have tried any of their products. Only used them once, but need to test them out further. But this week will be interesting after I have my hair done to see how, well, I don't want to spoil too much, but we'll just see how my color transition, how that works with brows and everything. So stay tuned. As the summer comes to a close, I know a lot of you have still been championing for me to keep the blonde. Others say no, go back. So I have to say, I have been surprised up until really the last week or so at how easy the grow out process, I mean, the color transition, I should say, has been. I thought as soon as I saw dark roots, I mean, maybe an inch of dark roots or so, half inch, that it would be driving me nuts. But really up until this last week, it has not been a big drastic contrast. Now I'm starting to see a little bit more of that harsher line, certain parts of my hair. So thus the crazy hair day today. We're disguising some things, but see right here in the front where I have my natural platinum, that's helping disguise the grow out there in the front. So it's actually better if I have my bangs off my forehead. And I know I've heard from several of you, I totally get it. You hate it when I have my bangs in my eyes or I'm having to constantly move my hair off my face to do makeup. I get it. I totally understand. It annoys me too. So I thought, well, today I'll try not to annoy any of you and I'll just have my hair all off my face and fixed and styled, and we'll just go that way. Going in with a little bit of clear Anastasia Beverly Hills Clear Brow Gel. Ooh, that was somehow hard for me to say. Okay, and let's see, I'll look in my magnifying mirror. I feel like I could use a little bit of some touch up. I always feel like that when I wear a more hydrating foundation or like a skin tint, I feel like it leaves my brow area a little too moist, even if I put powder through there. And so sometimes my brow pencil kind of just wipes right away. So I have to go in with a little second layer sometimes and just touch that up right before the clear brow gel dries. So that's just a tip if you have struggles with your brow pencil or powder, whatever you use, staying in place. If you're using a really hydrating foundation or skin tint, you might try you can even put some eyeshadow primer through your brows and that will give it added grip. But also just make sure you really set your brows with powder and that will help keep everything in place. All right, not like perfect, but you know, this isn't perfect makeup day. It's not one of those days, right? All right, let's curl the lashes. And using my rougher eyelash curler, this is the 18R, by the way. There are two different sizes of eyelash curlers. And I love that so many of you picked up that tip that all eyelash curlers are not created equal. They're not all the same size and shape. So find the right shape for your eyes and you might be surprised they actually work. Okay, let's go in. I'm gonna try to just simplify and just do the Dior Maximizer Lash Primer and the IT Cosmetics mascara. Just use these two products on my upper and lower. Now, the reason why I typically bring in a tubing mascara on my lower lashes is a tubing mascara is a lot less smudgy. So I have big issues with smudging of mascaras. Most mascaras smudge, even waterproof, even superhero, if I don't use a primer on my lower lashes. So typically by using a tubing mascara on my lower lashes, it allows me to just put one coat down there. But Today, I'm going to go ahead, I'll use the same mascara combination, but in doing so, I have to put primer down there, which I usually don't have to do with a tubing mascara. All right, let's do the uppers. We gotta apply our mascara before that dries. And now we're going to try to not get mascara on my eyelid or my lash line. I always end up with a couple of dots of mascara somewhere right around the roots of my lash line. Yeah, it's okay. We'll just deal with it. All right, and as I am looking at my skin up close, I really do not like the look of that skin tint. So I will try it in one of the other ways that I am testing using skin tints, but on its own, it's just not, it is not quite right for my skin type, for sure. So let me know if you've tried it or if you have tried any skin tints, if there are any that you want me to try. I really have loved in the past, and I just got a brand new tube of the Wet n Wild, what is it, Bare Focus? I think that one's called a tinted moisturizer. That one is really good, and wow, you can't beat the price. But I am trying a few of these others just to see if I can make them fit into my normal makeup routine somehow, or if they're really necessary. I know some of you don't like to wear full coverage or even medium coverage foundation ever. So I always like to try and give you some other options. So that's why I continue to try things that I normally maybe wouldn't try. I do it for you. Isn't that just so nice of me? No, it is fun. It's the fun part of my job. I love trying new products, and I love finding things that work for you all. So even though they might not be my favorite, if I give you all the facts and you say that sounds like something I would like, then I'm happy if they work for you. All right, so even though that took a little more time, it's one less product, right? So just had to coat those lower lashes really well. I'm anxious to try the new Dior, it's now a 4D lash primer. If any of you have tried that one, let me know if you find it very different than the 3D version, which I just used. I am going to wait though until the next Sephora sale to do that. That's usually when I buy that primer because it's so expensive. Woo! All right. All right, I always like to take a little extra time with my mascara when I have done just a single shadow or just a lighter shadow look on the eyes. And really, I mean, I don't know that you can tell I really have a shine and sheen through the crease. I do feel like though I need to bring that shadow up just a little bit higher. So I'm gonna go in with a bigger, actually let's just go in the rougher number 16 brush. Oh, gotta wipe that off really well. And go back to our eyeshadow, and let's just bring this up a little higher. There we go. Sometimes once you get mascara on, you can see if you need to add any more eyeshadow or anything. Okay, while the mascara continues to dry down, so that I know I've got little globs to clean up, but before we can do that, it must dry. So let's let it dry. Let's go to the lips. My lips do feel nice and hydrated. So let's wipe that off and add a little bit of MAC Soft Ochre Paint Pot. Yes, this is technically a cream eyeshadow or eyeshadow primer, but the texture of it and the way that it just dries down really helps keep your lip products in place. And if you have uneven lip lines like I do, it kind of gives you a nice clean canvas there so I can draw on my lips where I want them to be. Okay, I'm looking up close. really feel like I could use a little extra powder, a little extra blurring, something. Okay, since I'm feeling that way, let me pull in, where did it go? I had gotten out my Laura Geller. Oh, there it is. It's buried. All right, I'm gonna do the trick that I was telling you about. So I'm gonna use the Laura Geller Balance and Brighten. This is golden medium. I'm just gonna take this BK Beauty 104 brush, and I'm going to go kind of the tops of the cheeks into the bridge of the nose. This has such a unique blurring ability. It's kind of like the Refocus palette from Dalton also. I was trying to give you a break from that, but that is another palette I will use in this way as well. So I'm just gonna lightly kind of, I feel like that helped a little bit, don't you? I don't know, you all can let me know. Okay, that lip product there, or the paint pot, is settled in. Now I have a plethora of lip products sitting here, and I was trying to decide what I was going to wear today. We have the option of something kind of, oh, I think I want to do this. Again, another product I bought when my best friend was here, the Hourglass. These are the glossy lips, and this is the shade Crave. I'm going to use it with, let's go with the Makeup Forever pencil. And this is the Aqua Lip, and the shade is 14C. So this is more of a pink color. And I just love the combination of these two together. And talk about a long wearing lip liner. Oh my goodness. These are amazing. This is the only one I own. But during the Sephora sale, whenever that is, I'll probably pick up another shade or two. And this is just such a nice kind of neutral pink color. Just taking my time. It's hard to talk while I'm putting lip liner on. It's kind of like being at the dentist and having him ask you questions while he's got his hands in your mouth and you're like, I can't talk. Okay, now let's go in with this shade. Now this is one of those that you click up just enough. So Tarte, Dalton, Elf, I think NYX, everybody's got a product like this now. Just each one has some slight differences. This one, in my opinion, by far is the most juicy and glossy. And yet, I feel like it has some good stay power. You want to make sure you don't get too much. All right, let's go in. I need another Q-tip, and let's clean up under the eyes. All right. And without looking at my up-close mirror, I can't tell if I got a little too crazy. See, I got a little bit right there, but it's not bad. And a little bit over here. But I think overall we got it all. I can't really, not sure that I love that powder with the concealer, but I think it's looking okay so far. We'll see how it wears throughout the day. All right, I'm gonna take my mirror out of the way. And let's put in some earrings just to finish out the look. And I was thinking of, well, let's go ahead and do it. I'm going to use a setting spray today. I should have done this before I did mascara, but I've been testing out the new L'Oreal Infallible setting spray. Let me show you. I'm sure you've probably seen some people use it. Oh, having trouble getting my earrings in. Okay, there we go. All right. This looks like hairspray, and it kind of feels almost like you're putting hairspray on your face, and it smells like it too. Anyway, this is the L'Oreal Infallible 3-second setting mist. It's supposed to give you 36 hours and defies transfer. So we'll see, but there's not a lot of product in here, beware, and it's quite pricey for a drugstore setting spray. All right. I'm telling you, this is just like Chi Helmet Head or the, what is it, Big Hair hairspray. Okay, hold on. Okay, it's not a bad scent, but it is pretty heavily scented and it does smell like hairspray. And you do feel like everything is like hairsprayed onto your face. I mean, even the brows, like you can feel it almost like drying everything down, but I have to say it has kept my makeup like from feeling super tacky and stuff. So we'll see with this skin tint how well everything stays in place. But there you go. Here is our finished look today. Just one eyeshadow on the eyes. And yes, a few steps, but one eyeshadow. I think that was pretty easy, right? And again, the skin tint, I'll look for a video to come about my favorites, but this one, I'm not going to go down and say that this is something you should get, but the Sigma one, the Wet n Wild one, those two for sure I'm loving. So stay tuned. But all in all, I think this is a fun summery look and very casual, and for me, an everyday makeup look. So I hope that you enjoyed this. As always, check the description box down below. I will have links to all the products as well as my latest doll tin little pink box. If you haven't gotten it yet, definitely get over there and pick it up. It's such a great deal. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.